They used a master key to break into my condo, while my pregnant wife was inside half-dressed, terrified. No knock, no call, no emergency. Just a man with power who thought rules didn't apply to him. And in that moment I realized this wasn't about compliance, this was about control. Act 1. The conflict begins. My name's Dean Navarro. I work in cybersecurity, which basically means I spend my life making sure systems stay locked, secure, untouchable. Irony is the only system I couldn't protect was the one place I should have been able to: my own home. My wife Rachel and I had moved into Shadow Glen 2 years earlier. Cookie-cutter condos, manicured lawns, newsletters about recycling drives and wine tastings. On the surface it looked safe, organized, clean. Beneath that, a board of neighbors who liked to call themselves the HOA and a vice president named Marcus Bellamy who lived for one word: compliance. Rachel was 7 months pregnant, high risk. Doctor's orders were bed rest, limited stress, sterile environment. I upgraded everything: medical-grade filtration, smart locks, biometric monitors, motion sensors. I filed the paperwork, got approval from the board, paid every fee. I thought I'd done everything right. Then one afternoon my hallway camera caught him. Marcus standing at my door with 2 maintenance guys. He didn't knock, didn't even pause. He just pulled out the HOA's master key and turned the lock. Rachel came into view barefoot, wrapped in a thin robe, one hand instinctively covering her belly. She looked shocked, scared, exposed. Marcus didn't apologize. He just took one long look, muttered something about inspection, and walked away. I sat frozen at my desk, watching on my monitor as the door swung shut again. My wife shaking, clutching herself like the air itself had turned hostile. My heart was pounding so hard I could barely breathe. I filed an immediate incident report through the HOA's portal, attached the footage, cited every regulation they had broken. By morning the clip was gone, pending review. That's HOA code for bury it before anyone sees. And that's when I knew. This wasn't about rules anymore. This was Marcus flexing power because he thought nobody would stop him. Act 2. Escalation and turning point. The next day a notice appeared on my car windshield. Unit 4D lock system non-compliance. $200 per day, retroactive fines. They were penalizing me for the very upgrades they had approved months earlier. The letter accused me of obstruction during an official compliance check. Obstruction. Rachel was ambushed in her own hallway. I walked back inside, set the letter on the counter, and just stood there. My wife sat on the edge of our bed, eyes empty, robe folded across her lap like it still carried the violation. She wouldn't even look at me. And for the first time I thought maybe I should just stop. Maybe I should eat the fine, shut the cameras off, let Marcus have his way. Because fighting him was breaking her down more than the pregnancy already was. That night I heard glass shatter. I ran into the bathroom. Rachel was on the floor, gripping the counter, pale and shaking. Stress had spiked her vitals. The monitor blinked red, and I thought this fight might kill her. I wanted to quit. I really did. For a few hours I almost convinced myself I'd been reckless, that maybe Marcus was right. Maybe I should have just complied. But then the email came. Subject line: for what it's worth. Attachment: a screenshot of the HOA's master key log. Approved by M. Bellamy. No witness present. I didn't need to guess who sent it. Denise, one of the maintenance staff. She confirmed it later in a whisper by the service elevator. Marcus had ordered her to unlock my unit. She said no one told her Rachel was home, but she'd seen her pregnant, terrified, and Marcus didn't care. He just called it non-cooperative behavior. That was the turning point. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't overreacting. Marcus had weaponized procedure to humiliate and intimidate us, and he wasn't going to stop. So I stopped doubting myself. I started building a case. I dug through access logs, pulled metadata from the HOA's cloud system. 32 unauthorized entries in 60 days. Only 4 were scheduled. The rest Marcus using his master key like a toy. I created a folder, time-stamped clips, annotated logs, redacted witness notes. Then I launched a website, shadowglenwatch.org. Plain text, no frills. At the top, the silent video of Marcus opening my door, Rachel stumbling back, robe slipping. Underneath, This is not compliance. This is trespass. Neighbors began sending me their own stories. A mother fined $600 because her kid left Legos outside the door. A veteran threatened for hanging the American flag. A retired couple bullied over installing a stair lift. For years we all thought it was just us. Now we realized it was all of us. And Marcus had just given us a fuse. Act 3. Climax and Justice. The HOA meeting that week was standing room only. Local reporters had heard about the site. Someone had even set up a tripod camera in the back of the rec room. Marcus sat at the front table, tie knotted tight, smile fake as ever. He started with his usual spiel about safety and policy updates. I waited until Agenda Item 4, mandatory hardware resets for non-compliant locks. Then I stood. I request a vote on emergency override protocol. I said, voice steady. No master key entries without a third-party witness and verified emergency. The room went dead quiet. Marcus sneered. This isn't the forum. It is now. I laid the evidence on the table. 28 unauthorized entries, a video clip of Rachel forced into the hallway, internal chat logs where Marcus himself wrote, "Move now or not at all." Gasps. Murmurs. A woman in the back stood up. He did the same thing to my kid's room. Another neighbor shouted about fines for crutches. Voices piled up wave after wave until the room shook with anger. Denise rose from her chair trembling but firm. I was ordered to unlock Unit 4D. I regret it, but I saw it. It happened exactly as Navarro described. That was it. The dam broke. The HOA president tried to regain control, but the crowd wasn't having it. Residents lined up with violation notices, photos, recordings. One mother held up a sandwich bag of 4 tiny Legos, saying, "These are what Marcus called a safety hazard." Laughter, bitter and raw, rippled across the room. Finally, the president leaned into the mic. Effective immediately, Marcus Bellamy is suspended from all HOA duties pending a vote for permanent removal. Master key protocols are frozen until further notice. The room erupted in applause. Not joy, not celebration, more like relief. Like someone had cut the wires of a ticking bomb. I didn't smile. I just stood there, folder still in my hand, watching Marcus shrink behind his papers, eyes darting like a cornered animal. He'd ruled through silence and fear. Tonight the silence broke. Closing line. Power only works when people stay quiet. The moment we spoke up, his keys stopped working.